such wonderful sounds of birds. And the crashing waves. Thousands and thousands of green leaves of different shades of green. When I'm in the city, I often think about being in a forest. Just thinking about it gives me so much peace. Being here in the forest, actually, I don't get any thoughts of the city. I'm totally in the present moment. I'm fortunate to be a photographer. I celebrate the creation with my images. Exploring this endless variety and sharing with the world is my life. Even today, I love going and camping alone and totally soak in nature. In nature, there is endless variety of colors, designs, textures, shapes, forms. I can keep on talking about it. There is just no comparison. Each one is so incredibly unique. Every time I do a shot of nature, that too with my heart and soul, I can never forget it. I don't want anyone to look at my pictures and say that it is shot by Iqbal Mohamed. That kind of uniqueness I want in my images. When I was studying BA, History and Political Science, my dad got me a rangefinder camera. 2 of my pictures got published in the college souvenir. From that time, photography started in my life. In one of the city libraries, I saw a book by Ansel Adams, and there were all those famous zone system images. Every image was looking like some kind of painting, you know? And especially when I saw some pictures of waterfalls, images of Yosemite Valley, I got so inspired, and I told to myself, this is what I want to do for the rest of my life. When I started looking for a place to study photography, I realized there is no college of photography in India. Then I started doing lots of homework, and eventually I decided upon the Brooks Institute of Photography in California. It was an exclusive college for photography. At the end of the program, I had a solid portfolio. And when I came back to India, I started doing shoots for clients within a few weeks. I realized it was all worth it.
I first met Iqbal at the FCB office in Bangalore. One of our creative directors said that there's this photographer who's come back from Brooks and he's got a great portfolio and you must check it out. And so he came to meet me and I was quite surprised because the kind of work he showed me and the kind of person he was, there was such a contradiction. Because here he was, some amazing thing. I'd spent years working in Bombay, talking and interacting with so many photographers. I was seeing images, the likes of which I had not seen. And there's this photographer, Iqbal, he's so quiet, he didn't make any attempt to explain what he's done or talk about himself or anything, he just presented his work. So what struck me most at that time was his complete humility and a level of almost innocence, you know, I mean, total purity. I am used to very aggressive, very, what shall I say, confident photographers. And here was Iqbal, very, very quiet, showed me his work, didn't say a word, waited for me to comment. And at every stage when I asked him a question, he had very, very brief answers to give. Just what he did and why he did. That's about it. Over time, as I started interacting with him as a person and as a professional, I realized that he's a very different kind of a person. For him, photography was life. It was beyond passion. It wasn't a career. It wasn't a profession. That's actually his reason for being. Iqbal's obsession with nature and his deep connect has sometimes led to some very crazy situations. Like this once when we were on our way to Kashmir and we were to take a flight early morning. We're driving towards the airport and Iqbal sees this wonderful sunrise happening. So what does he do? He just asks the driver to stop the car, gets off and takes a shot of the sunrise. And it doesn't end there. He just kind of just continues to hang around there, enjoying the entire beautiful scenario unfolding. We get back into the car and reach the airport, and we walk in and we go to the counter and we informed that the flight is left.
I've done so many pictures of sunrise, sunset. I've never seen two similar looking sunrises or sunsets. Every one of them is so incredibly unique.
The problem of rebooking a flight and losing money and things had absolutely practically no significance to him. Ultimately, my sunrise shot, and I got it. Iqbal, not for one moment, believed that the knowledge of photography he had was something that he owned. He always felt that it was there for the sharing. And I think this combined with the fact that, he had enough of Bombay. And then he had this dream that I must set up, one of the best institutes of photography in the world. And he decided to come to Ooty to do that because it was in the midst of nature. And the one big connect he has, something that he always goes back to is nature.
Waiting for the moonrise, I'm reminded of 1969 when Neil Armstrong landed on the moon. I asked my mother if Neil Armstrong is walking upside down on the moon. Seeing from the earth, it is so different. Those days, we used to live in a lovely farmhouse on the outskirts of Madurai, with acres and acres of paddy fields, lakes and streams in the backyard. My brother was too young and my sister was not born. My mom was busy managing the house and my dad was doing his police training. From school, I used to wait to get back home and run around the paddy fields chasing birds, butterflies, splashing in water, so many things. That was the beginning of my love for nature.
Iqbal always talks about how we tend to take vision for granted. And I think it all began from the time when he was in college and he talked about his friend Subbu, who was visually challenged, and how he used to spend time reading to him and how it was a very interesting experience for him. And he used to keep wondering, how Subbu takes in experiences which are actually visual.
I've got up in the middle of my dreams in Loyola, in the hostel. I would get up, some crazy vague dream and all. What kind of dream is this, I would think. And the next thought I would get was, how will Subbu dream? Like that I used to think. And are they dreams of sounds, smell, touch? Definitely nothing to do with whatever this light and the visuals and the whatever. No? And I used to just, look outside my room window, and little light will come on my ceiling. I would just keep staring at the ceiling. I would get psyched and keep on staring at my ceiling. And maybe half hour, 1 hour later, I'll just fade into sleep. And it used to be like that.
Over the years, Iqbal has lost touch with Subbu. He'd like to go back and meet this one person who really triggered this thought in his mind that I should take my vision very, very seriously.
Well, I don't believe this, I say.
Oh, wow. You got so many decades, sir.
4 decades, I say.
Last century.
40 years, absolutely.
40 years.
We both have spent all these decades pursuing something so very elusive. You might call it excellence, you might call it ambition, or you might call it by any other name. But I think there has been in both of us that burning desire to realize something, to achieve a sense of fulfillment in life, a sense of purpose that has driven us all through the years.
சிந்தனை செய் மனமே, சிந்தனை செய் மனமே, செய்தால் தீவினை அகன்றிடுமே, சிவகாமி மகனை சண்முகனை சிந்தனை செய் மனமே.
As I spent time with him today, I have been asking myself this question: why haven't you met him all this while? Why has it taken you this long to meet him? The honest answer to that question is, I truly do not know. But when I reflect on that, I can only say that perhaps this was because our paths never really crossed. We went in very, very different directions.
சண்முகனை சிந்தனை செய் மனமே, செய்தால் தீவினை அகன்றிடுமே, சிவகாமி மகனை சண்முகனை சிந்தனை செய் மனமே, தினமே
It's 22 years since Light Life Academy started, and thousands plus students have been trained here. It's very heartening and makes us feel very proud. And there are moments, number of highs, like when one of our students got an assignment the day after we held our first exhibition, and he started shooting and has never looked back. Many times our students call us and talk about international awards they've won. Every time we get a message like that or a call like that, makes us feel it was all worth it. It was all worth it. When we started in 2001, we had this 3-acre plus campus with some 50,000 square feet of facilities, with tons of equipment, 14 studios, huge infrastructure. All of it is because Iqbal wanted to create an environment that he wished he had when he was studying. Studios to explore whenever he wants to shoot, go wherever he wants and not to have to bother about getting permissions and things to shoot. All of that put together, we created an infrastructure which would have handled 100 students. And year one, we had 2 students. He had to teach because we couldn't afford teachers. We could afford very few. So he had to take multiple sessions teaching the students. And then, yes, we were short of resources. So he had to go out and do commercial assignments, which initially he was wanting to avoid, but didn't really have a choice. For 6 years, he somehow kept his body and mind and soul together. And in the 6th year, when we got our first big batch of 24 students, till then he was able to maintain it. And then when he realized, yeah, now Light and Life Academy is set and there will be no looking back from here, he just let go. The stress and all the difficult times he had to go through, all the challenges that he had to face, and all the taunts that people made, saying that he's, trying to handle something and do something that really cannot be a success. All of that played in his mind, and I think that really got to him, and that was it. And he just collapsed at that time.
The first 5 years was really difficult. Sixth year, the whole thing turned around. We had a whole bunch of students and things took off.
It was such a tragic thing, really. Light and Life Academy had just taken off. On the other hand, when Iqbal should have been enjoying the fruits of his labor, all that hard work, he just collapsed. He really struggled to get better. And the thing was, whatever medical science could do at that time could not really heal him. So one fine day, he just decided to spend more and more time with nature.
Around that time, my friend Meghavarnam called me from the Andamans. After many, many years, the barren island volcano has started erupting. The same day, I left. When I saw the volcano erupting, it was such a wonderful experience, and I was totally at peace. I'm in the middle of nowhere, surrounded by islands. This is my home. The water, the birds, the clouds. There's so much. As I keep thinking, my mind settles down. I remember when I was 5 years old, 6 years old, I used to run in between paddy fields. And alone only, nobody was with me. Even now, I just go through different places in nature. Like right now, I'm in between islands. I'm just going through the islands. And the feeling is the same. I wish I live forever to keep coming back here.
He went back to where he started, with nature. He recollects how much joy it used to give him when he was running around in nature. He recollects how excited he used to get when he used to draw, sketch, paint nature. And then when he started taking pictures, the first set of pictures were all about nature. And he went back, it was a full cycle. He went back to nature and he realized that his space, his connect with nature is what makes him a complete human being.
Every time I get into nature, I feel so alive and happy. Through my images, I love sharing this joy with people and motivate them to experience the same feeling. When we really appreciate something, we want to preserve it. I can't imagine a world without nature.